different on uh, moisture and dryness shows up different on black and brown skin than it does on white skin, meaning it's more obvious when we're dry, right? Because you can see it because we have the brown skin, black skin. And because of that, we historically have always moisturized a little bit more than the general population. So your cocoa butters, your shea butters, your petroleum jelly, your good old Vaseline, we've always used that. And that prevents wrinkles, prevents some of those aging effects that can occur on the skin surface as well. So I think those two things have always kept us looking beautiful and youthful.
I love that because
Yes.
I'm telling
That was the black don't cry explanation. The second part of the question I didn't answer. I'm sorry. So what happens over time is we lose estrogen, right? So menopause, perimenopause, our estrogen levels plummet. And unfortunately, estrogen is related to moisture, right? So you think of things like vaginal dryness. The same thing happens on the exterior. So the skin loses that elasticity, that stretchiness, that bounciness, that hydration. Excuse me. And so that's why it has the effects that it has over time.
got it. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Next question is, what are the signs that our skin routine needs to shift based on where we are in life? Also, I do want to add, if you have any questions that you want to personally ask Dr. Swiner, please put it in the chat as well. And then also at the end, we'll give an opportunity for you to personally ask Dr. Swiner, okay? Because we want to make sure you have that opportunity as well, okay?
Yes. So the signs that our skin routine needs to shift really are based on age and phases of life. So everybody goes through different changes, whether it's puberty, becoming a teenager, we go through a shift. Then when you're pregnant, postpartum, you go through a shift. Then as you get into perimenopause and menopause, you go through a shift. If you're having stressful moments, you go through a shift, so almost anything that changes or relates to your hormonal phase of life can cause changes in your skin. So if you know that things are coming, so let's say, for instance, I have two girls. I have a preteen and a teenager. I ahead of time started talking to them about skin health even before the teenage years hit because I wanted their skin to already have a good balance, a good routine, so that once the hormones start fluctuating, excuse me, they already have that good baseline for good health. So the signs are either the phases of life and your age, and you know it's coming, so you try to get ahead of it, or you
Mhm.
have clinical signs and symptoms. So you have more patches of dryness, more patches of, if you're prone to things like eczema, which is a little bit more of an inflammatory dry skin situation. If you see that those things are happening, if you're seeing that areas, or also before your period, I also forgot to say premenstrual and menstrual, again, hormonal. So if you know that's coming ahead of time, you want to try to step on board with, like, stepping it up with your hygiene, your skin routine. But seeing extra dry patches on the skin, whether it's weather changes, it's the fall and the winter now, so we're drier in general. So that is kind of a sign that things are happening. Or if you start to see areas that you're breaking out in, acne wise, you know that you need to change what you're doing. And so, there's a kind of a baseline routine you should have, and then there's your like step it up routine that you should have when you know that things are happening. For me, for instance, like with my kids, I try to make sure that they are cleansing their face with some sort of good cleanser at least once a day, if not twice a day, and then moisturization always. But if breakouts are happening, or if they know that or for instance, if I had to like get makeup done for a photo shoot or something like that, then I know that for the couple of days afterwards, I need to be extra, good with like my scrub, or extra good with like my bio oil, which has more lavender and chamomile than, say, just regular Vaseline. So it all depends on what's happening in your life and what phase of life you're in. And that will kind of define and determine what other things you need to be doing on top of that. Did that answer the question?
God, absolutely answers the question. So, what would you say is certain products that you personally feel are better than the rest when it comes to facial washes and moisturizers, or what are certain things that we should look for in those products?
Yes. So, as a disclaimer, everybody's skin pH balance, biome, environment, everybody's different. So everybody's going to respond to something different. But the keys are to keep, you need something that's going to brush away dirt and germs from the skin, and then you need something that's going to moisturize. Clinically, usually, when you look it up, most really good facial cleansers, whether that be Noxzema or Cetaphil or things of that nature for your everyday cleansing, have either like salicylic acid in them or some form of hydroxy or acetyl acid in them. So it's a safe acid that's going to brush away germs and dirt from the skin. So that's kind of your basic cleanser. For moisturization, again, everybody's going to respond to something different, but you want to use something that's kind of right in the middle. So not too, not something that dries away too quickly, but then also things that aren't too heavy and thick and greasy because you don't want to clog your pores. You want your pores to be nice and open and be able to breathe. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
for instance, so if you use Vaseline, I think that's great. You just don't want to use an extreme amount on the face. You can use a lot on the skin of the body, but you want to, be minimal on the face. I like Pond's as well. That's one of my favorites. And then bio oil is, I mentioned that earlier. That has a good amount of vitamin A and E in it. So those are the things you want to look for in your moisturizers to keep your skin supple and moist.
Good information. Y'all, I hope y'all take your notes because she giving all the details. Okay. Next question is, why do dark spots and uneven tones become more noticeable as the years go by?
So over the years, either we are doing too much to our skin or just living life and the sun is causing damage and darkening. So again, if you're, of melanated background and you have the melanin that's there, which is great, but then over time, the sunspots can essentially occur because we have a collection of melanocytes in one area because of trauma or scarring. So, again, teenage times, premenstrual, etc. You have the acne breakouts. Hopefully, you aren't picking and popping pimples. I know a lot of us have a little bit of that inclination to want to do that. Try to leave it alone because the more you scratch and pick and push, the more bruising and blemishing can happen. And as we get
Mm-hmm.
older, not only does some of that melanin fade away a little bit, but our skin gets thinner, so it's more noticeable. So again, the less estrogen you have, the less fat content you have, the less elasticity, the thinner your skin gets. So the scarring and the darkening, you're going to see more easily over time.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Got it. Did not know that. I did not know how the impact of estrogen was on the skin. I had no idea.
Yes. Yeah. Menopause, perimenopause, it comes with all the things, all the things. Skin changes being
Got
one.
it. So the next question is, what is the safest and effective way to fade discoloration long term?
Long term. Well, to before talking about the effective way to fade it, meaning the way to treat it, you also want to talk about the way to prevent it. And again, a lot of the times it's our fault. We're doing either too much or not doing enough for our skin, and then the
Mhm.
discoloration happens. But prevention wise, you want to make sure that you're not taking in tobacco. So if you're smoking, that's yet another reason to quit and cut back on smoking. Too much alcohol, yet another reason to cut back on that stuff because all that's doing is drying you out, right? Because hydration is key. Water, 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 drink water. The other things just to make sure of, oh, I mentioned before, the picking, the popping, the scratching, the picking off scat, leave your skin alone, right? Because the more stuff, the more trauma that we add to the skin, the more the risk for discoloration, for hyperpigmentation, things of that nature. However, once you have it, the most effective ways, and it depends on what you read and what you see, but products with vitamin A and E, I mentioned for particularly in things like bio oil, that has been shown
Mhm.
to decrease some discoloration and scarring. Um, what's another good one? Let me see. Let me look at my notes here. I wrote some things down. Anything with retinoids. Retinoids are you can find some over the counter. That's an ingredient that is in a lot of the skin faders and all that. But prescription ones, of course, are more effective, and you need to see either your primary care or your dermatologist to prescribe those for you. Um, And then of course you get into the like procedural stuff where you have to go and see a professional, whether it's for like chemical peels or laser treatments. Those can help
Hmm.
as well. But if you're looking for something that you can do yourself first at home, anything with vitamin A, vitamin C, or retinoid in the product um, should be helpful. And it is with consistent use. You can't just spot use it. You have to use it consistently. But also, be careful. You have to be safe with those too, because you don't want to like overuse or use the wrong type of thing and your skin reacts to it, or you have like an irritation because of it. So make sure you're following your directions if you're using something, particularly with like retinoid in it.
Hmm. I definitely have heard of that too. I do want
Yeah.
to ask personally. So, like, if you have, let's say, is it serebic dermatitis?
Dermatitis. Uh-huh. Seborrheic. Yeah.
See, I could never get the word. I would definitely. So, I wanted to ask, how do you treat it? Because I do know a lot of people, including myself, that have it in the scalp. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
It
So it's
is
like, how
frustrating.
do you take care of it? How do you, and sometimes you even see it like in just like other parts of your body. Like I know somebody has it on their eyebrows and their ears. So how do you take care of that?
Yes. So seborrheic dermatitis, we call it cradle cap in babies. So you
Mm.
can see little white plaques of
Yeah.
dandruff is what it looks like, but it's not the usual kind of dry, itchy scalp dandruff. It's a greasy, like cakey kind of a dandruff. And it's
Mhm.
very, again, you have an inclination to pick and scratch, right? To like scratch it off and all that, which, might get rid of it temporarily. But what we say for babies, because we want to be as gentle as possible, is get like some olive oil or some virgin olive oil, massage the scalp, and then get a fine tooth comb and just kind of gently, scrape away, gently comb away the scabs. And over time, that should help to prevent it from coming back so in such a cakey way. For adults, over the counter, the Selsun Blue still has that active ingredient. It's a blue colored shampoo. It's old school, but I think they still have it over the counter. But it has,
Mhm.
I think it's selenamide is the active ingredient, if I'm not mistaken. But it is an active ingredient that will help to prevent that from being so prevalent. And you can use it on your eyebrows too. Um,
Got
then the
it.
other things, if it's really bad, then you have to go and get prescription shampoos and topicals for it. But over the counter,
Mhm.
if you use the selenamide shampoos and then olive oil, and then with a fine tooth comb, gently brush away, that should help. Yeah, somebody says Selsun Blue, oldie but goodie. That's right. Hmm.
No, for real. God, I've definitely heard of it, so I'll definitely be taking that into consideration
Yeah.
100%. Are there ingredients we should lean into more as we enter into different stages of womanhood?
Yes. Let me make sure I've mentioned all the things that I want to mention previously too. I talked about sunscreen, all stages of womanhood, from childhood, even yes, Black people need sunscreen. Let me let me put that
I was
out
like
there.
that.
Let me be plain.
Please
Black
do, because
people
I'm not
need,
gonna lie to you.
with your
No,
background on
please.
the beach somewhere, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. Yes, because sun damage, the UV rays, not good. Not good. So that's probably the biggest anti-ager out there is our sun loving, right? Um, moisture, moisture, moisture. Okay. So any type of moisture that includes something that's more oil based, I have found over time, I have found that the lotions don't really stay as well as something that's oil based. So even though it may feel a little greasy once you put it
Mhm.
on, it will at least linger a bit versus just like your regular hand lotion that then you put
Mhm.
on and dries and then it's gone, right? And we mentioned some of the other things before. So as we get older, the collagen decreases, the estrogen decreases, our skin gets thinner, we have less fat that's under there to protect us. So you want to increase things that increase your stretchiness, your bounciness. So collagen is great, whether you take it orally, powder, etc. Anything with A, C, vitamin D in it will help
Mhm.
with, so your A and your C, and your E, you can use topically. Your D, you got to take orally. You got to make sure you're taking your vitamin D. So those types of things are what you should be looking for, really in all stages of womanhood, but definitely as we get older. I saw
Got it.
Nola in the house. Hey, and I saw Raleigh earlier. Hello.
So definitely, I actually didn't start wearing sunscreen until like a couple years ago because I thought I didn't need it because
Hmm.
that's all I heard,
That's good. You're
right?
still
And
young. You're
then
still young, so you caught it in time. That's good.
I did, I really did. And then I definitely have heard that you, is there a certain age? I definitely saw that you lose a certain percent of collagen each year after a certain age. Is
Oh,
is that? Yeah. So I'm not, that's something that I
I
definitely have
believe it.
heard.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so collagen and estrogen kind of go hand in hand, and they decrease as we get older. So I believe that.
Yes. Oh, got it. Because I definitely saw, I think it was after the age of either 25 or 30, in between, you lose 1% of collagen each year. And I was just like, really?
It makes sense. It makes sense. And
That does.
as you all know, collagen is important in all the areas, but specifically in joints. So
Hmm.
hair, skin, nail, joints. Collagen
I
is big
think
for.
it's a hair, skin, nails, and joints. Like I love saying that, especially if I'm talking about like collagen in general. It's your hair, skin, nails, and joints. So it's just like a added, to like a hair, skin, nail vitamins. I love saying that.
Right.
So literally, how do hormone changes throughout life impact texture, breakouts, and firmness? And hello, everybody. Thank y'all so much for coming. If you do have any questions, please put inside the chat. Dr. Swiner will be happy to answer anything that you ask her. All right, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it repeatedly so far. Estrogen, estrogen, estrogen. So anytime your estrogen fluctuates or dips or decreases, your skin's gonna tell you. Your skin's gonna let you know. Your hair too. We've talked about hair before, but your skin's definitely gonna tell you that your estrogen level is changing. So menstrual times. I know a lot of us have, including myself, we have breakouts, and that's like it happens like a week before, the period is coming. So it's a sign to me that I need to start using more of my acne preventing products. Um, as you're pregnant, postpartum, your skin's going to change, whether it's acne or dryness, or some of us even get more oily skin because your body is overproducing at that time because it's helping to create this new life. Sometimes your glands will give you too much oil or sebum is what it's called. Um, Menopause, your estrogen is dropping. So your collagen is going to drop with it. Your fat content is going to drop with it. And so your skin will look more sucked in, more wrinkly, crow's feet. We've seen those on the sides of the eyes that we're getting all this Botox
Yeah.
and stuff for.
Mhm.
So yeah, estrogen, 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 that's the culprit or lack
Got
thereof.
it. Lack thereof. Definitely understand you, and that's a pattern that I've definitely been hearing with a lot of these questions too. Estrogen.
Estrogen. Yeah.
Somebody did ask, what body care recommendations do you have for dry skin or psoriasis? She struggles with moisture due to, I think it's S SJOGRENS.
Sjogren's.
Got
Sjogren. Yep.
it.
Dryness. Yep. So those are harder. So Sjogren's, psoriasis, those are all autoimmune conditions. So they may not necessarily respond to the same over-the-counter or daily hygiene things that we mentioned. You will often need prescription steroids or other type of autoimmune treatments to control it and to treat it when it gets really inflamed. I would say again at the base, make sure you're doing all the stuff we talked about, right? So baseline, you're hopefully, and we needed to also talk about diet. Are you living a healthy lifestyle? Because that's something else that your skin is going to reflect. If you're eating a bunch of greasy fast food, drinking sodas all the time, stressing out and not sleeping, then I don't care what product you get from over the counter, that's not going to help, right? So fruits, vegetables, water, cooking at home. Like we really have to encourage ourselves to do that more. I'm talking to myself. We have to encourage ourselves because you have to, at baseline, you have to have a healthy lifestyle. But back to psoriasis and Sjögren's. So it's really hard. So psoriasis in particular, a lot of those unfortunate cases have like really irritated red flaky patches that happen like on the elbows or the knees or in other parts of the body, sometimes on the face. and they won't respond to just petroleum jelly. Sometimes often you'll have to go to your dermatologist and your rheumatologist to either get injections or IV treatments that you take on a regular basis to prevent the flares. But once you have the flare, you may have to get prescription, either, topical or oral steroids or other higher level medicines. But at least at the base, hopefully you have a nice, healthy diet, and you are at least every day doing your daily routine, whatever that routine is for you. You're cleansing and you're moisturizing.
Got it. Next question is, she says she has type 2 diabetes. Her body skin is extremely dry. And she said my face is regiment is fine. Any recommendation or any her face regimen is fine, sorry. Any recommendations for the body skin dryness?
Yes, my favorite, particularly for really, really dry skin and things like diabetes or eczema. And again, we're not promoting any other brand but Black Girl Vitamins, but Eucerin. Eucerin is a good one over the counter. It also, what's the other one? Is it Dermabond? Dry Bond? There's another one with Bond in it that has
Um,
a, hmm?
is it Golden Bond?
I
Is
think
it
you're right. Yes. It has
Mhm.
a version specifically for diabetics because the skin can get dry. But good old petroleum jelly, if you're not using it, like your grandma and everybody else used to use, smack on some some Vaseline and see if that doesn't help you. Aquaphor is another good thick. It's essentially petroleum jelly, maybe a little bit thicker. Gold Bond, yes, thank you. Yes, Gold Bond. So Vaseline or Aquaphor, really thick. Oh, she said Vaseline doesn't work. Try Aquaphor or Eucerin. And then Dermabond, as we mentioned, specifically has a diabetic version for moisturization.
I'm shocked. Got it.
You're
I
shocked?
think I think not even shocked. It's just more so just like the information is definitely
Yeah.
I'm just excited to have
Y'all
the
are taking
information
me
because
back.
for
Y'all
me,
making me, I'm back to my clinical days now. It's coming back. It's coming.
I think the biggest thing is that skin was something that like I didn't fully care about in the past, so I didn't really feel the effect. So then when I finally started to actually care about my skin, I started noticing the difference. And I didn't really think it was that big of a difference until people started coming up to me. It's like, wow, your skin looks so nice. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's
And
working.
there's a lot of the times, many people they have like a 7, 10, 25 step like skincare process. So like what's your take on that versus kind of like those that have like the simplistic skincare regimen?
I don't think you need it. And I know the kids, again, I got preteen and teenage girls. All these TikToks are talking about these 5 million products you got to buy. My last year, we bought my teenager, she has a little miniature refrigerator in her room for her face products. I'm
Mhm.
like, really? But okay, that's fine. You're taking an interest in your health. That's great. But no, you do. If it's part of your self-care regimen, right? I'm all about self-care, go for it. If
Mhm.
it is your ritual to be in the mirror at nighttime, to put your things on and do your scrubs and all that, just as long as you're not overdoing it and irritating your skin, because often we are doing too much. Your body really knows what it's supposed to do, just like vaginal health. Often we are overdoing it and doing too much and affecting our pH balance. Same with the skin. Don't do too much. Don't do too much. So personally, I don't think you need 7 and 10 steps, but if it works for you and that relaxes you and that makes you feel like you're taking out that time and it's a ritual for you, so be it.
Mhm.
So be it. I literally have 2 steps that I do. That's my everyday. So I'm cleansing with either, something with salicylic acid or eucalyptus in it. So that's once a day, once or twice. And then I'm moisturizing every day, whether that's petroleum jelly, just a thin film, not a bunch on remember, on your face, because you want to keep those pores open, or bio oil, which has vitamin A and E. That's my daily, and leave it be. And then water, 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 drink, 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 water, water, water. Because
Water is
splashing
key.
water on your face is not going to do it. We got to do it from the inside out. The inside
Make
out.
it
So
first.
that's really all I do. And then if things happen, then I'll, add this to it. If there's a breakout, then I use something that helps with acne. Or if I'm kind of flaky because I was, in the dry weather, I may have to do my scrub, that kind of a thing. But just, less is more.
Yes, look, Yolanda said it, less is best.
Yes,
Less
less
is
is
more.
best. I like that.
That. What daily habits help maintain smooth, even skin as we age gracefully? You definitely talked about that too. So if you want to
Can
go
I,
ahead and
and
add a
can
little bit
I,
more.
I want to reiterate the importance of being happy.
Mm,
Let's just meditate on that for a minute. Yeah. You
that's
can tell when
yeah.
people have been going through something for a long time, or just have had stressful lives, or work a stressful
Hmm.
job, or hate their marriage and their relationship. Like you can tell, right? Right. When you look at them, it's like they look like they've aged 5 or 10 years.
Hmm.
Um, Decreasing stress. Again, I'm all about self-care. My ministry is the no superwoman lifestyle. I am not a superwoman. I try to be sometimes. I have to check myself. You can't do it. You can't be everything to all the people all the time perfectly. You can't, because then you don't take care of
Hmm.
yourself at the end of the day. Hopefully, you are in a happy environment. Hopefully, your home is peaceful. Hopefully, the relationships are reciprocal and fruitful. Hopefully, your family relationships, the one that you choose to have, okay? Because you can choose to not have family relationships if they don't work for you. Hopefully, they
Hmm.
are joyful and you're getting sleep, right? Those things matter too.
I like how you touched on all like parts. It wasn't just kind of like, you know what I mean? You touched on like all parts. I love that. Can't
I'm
even
gonna
lie
get
to
some
you.
clock T emojis, get some clock T emojis in the
Yolanda
chat.
said glad. Yolanda said glad you said that. In the comments, somebody asked, I have PCOS causing skin flare-ups. Recommended skincare routine.
So again, you gotta have your basis. If you have PC, thank you, Amira. She gave me my clock T emoji. Uh, PCOS is again a little bit more complicated because it's an actual hormonal condition, right? So some of the usual daily hygienic stuff that we've been talking about may not work all the time. PCOS in particular can cause increased acne because the glands are producing more oil. And so you may need something that's more specific to drying out that oil versus putting on more oil. If your hormones are fluctuating, like your periods are off and on, then you'll need hormonal treatment to get you on a regular hormonal schedule so that that stuff can decrease. PCOS also causes more hair growth in places that women particularly
Mhm.
don't want it, like chin, chest. So you may need to be on oral medicines that help prevent those types of things, like spironolactone, or other types of anti-hair growth or anti-testosterone type treatments to help improve those things in the skin. So, long story short, hormonal, regularity, and you'll likely have to talk to your primary care or your GYN about what to do about that. And then once your hormones are stable, if you're still having those areas of acne outbreaks or hair growth, you may need something that is prescription based.
Got
Or
it.
try PCOS, the PCOS supplement from Black Girl Vitamins. How about that?
Got it. Yeah, I like that. Next question is it true that certain textures or fine lines are genetic, or can they be improved with consistency?
So I say yes and maybe. So I think that if unfortunately, just like, I don't know if you've noticed if really moly uh, families tend to all have moles, right? I know in particular, I know my grandmother, I can remember my grandmother developed lots of moles as she aged, and now I'm starting to get little beauty spots popping up out of nowhere, right? So I think a lot of that stuff, unfortunately, is genetically related. Can they be improved? I think so. Or maybe you can at least prevent them from getting worse with some of the things we
Hmm.
already talked about with trying to increase the hydration, moisturization, and collagenation of the skin.
Hmm. Like that.
Mhm.
Somebody did ask, what things can be done to increase collagen in your face? What are some good acne prevention products for black skin?
I'll tell you what I do. I take Black Girl Vitamins collagen. That's what I do. True story. So I started out with the gummies. I did the gummies first. So that was the thing that was available at that time. So I did the gummies. And then once I ran out of the gummies, I said, you know what? I'm gonna try the powder and see if there's any difference. And I think that it's helped. I think that has helped me to glow. People have definitely commented on the glowing of the skin. I definitely have also felt it in my joints. I think it improves those types of things. So taking collagen over the counter or like I said with Black Girl Vitamins has been tremendously helpful. And then the second part of
It
that question was acne, right? Was that right?
was acne up.
So what to do to prevent or treat? What did she say?
What are some good acne prevention products? So
Prevention.
prevention.
Yeah, so if you know that you are having outbreaks or, again, right before your period or et cetera, things are happening, you want to use I think it's acetic acid containing creams. And the one that I use, I'm seeing it in my cabinet right now, but I'm blanking. But I use one particular spot acne treatment when I see things kind of popping up and happening. So, when it's almost like when the bump forms before it turns red and with a head on it, I try to catch it and use my spot treatment. It'll come
Mhm.
to me in a second, but I think the majority of those things that are helpful have acetic acid in them. Let's see, how do you take the collagen part? Okay. I thought somebody was going to chime in with the name of my product. It'll come to me in a minute. I use the collagen every morning in my coffee. That's how I use it. So it's in the cabinet next to my coffee. One scoop, it dissolves very well. It disappears. You don't even see it or taste it. And put in my cream and keep it going. So that's how I do it. When I was doing smoothies a lot, now it's gotten a little bit colder outside. I don't do smoothies as much in the morning, but when I was, sometimes I was putting in my smoothie.
Got it. I drink smoothies whether it's cold, freezing, or warm. I know I gotta do
That's
that.
your thing?
Hey, anything cold is my thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Next question is why does skin sometimes feel drier or less bouncy over time, even with moisturizers?
Yeah. I think we've answered that too. So less collagen means less bounciness, less stretchiness. And over time, we lose fat, which then, the fat gives us the fullness and stretches the skin. But once we lose that, then we get wrinkles and droopiness and all of that.
Got it. And then somebody did ask, how do you, oh, she already asked how she took the collagen powder and water. Okay, got that. Already asked that.
Yeah, I
And
saw it
someone
pop
did,
up.
someone did ask, did you touch upon thyroid issues? So I guess like thyroid issues when it comes to your skin and how that looks and how to, I guess, treat that or.
Yes. So yeah, hypothyroidism in particular causes and can cause dry skin. Hyper or elevated thyroid can actually cause more sweaty, oily skin. So again, you gotta treat the root, which is getting that thyroid stabilized with your doctor, and checking your labs and making sure that your levels are where they're supposed to be and you're treating those levels, number one. But then once your thyroid levels are as stable as you can get them, you got to make sure you're doing the other stuff. You got to make sure you're doing your cleansing and your moisturization every day. You may have to step up the type of moisturizer you're using based on or along with some of those recommendations we mentioned earlier. And if you missed it, we talked, someone said they had diabetes and had really dry skin. Someone says psoriasis, etc. So if you need something with a little more moisturization in it, instead of just kind of your basic petroleum jelly, there are things like Aquaphor, Eucerin, Dermabond. They last and linger on the skin a little bit longer.
Got it. I
I
know
like
I know a lot of people
mine.
use lips too.
Say, I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
I know some people use Aquaphor on the lips as well too. It's
Yes,
kind of like a
a do all. Yep,
absolute
yep,
it's a it's kind of like that girl when it comes to your overall skin. I love it.
yep.
Got it. And you definitely didn't answer this, but you can chime on it a little bit more. But what does a healthy skin barrier look or feel like at this stage of life? I guess at any stage of life or certain stages of life or just in general.
Yes, when you touch the skin, I know some people hate this word, moist. When you touch the skin, is it moist? Not greasy, not oily, not dry, but dewy. Do you have a nice little glow? Is it dewy? That means that your glands and your pores are working as they should. They're supposed to release some of that natural oil to the surface so that you stay looking glowy. But if you're touching yourself and you're dry and you have a dry patch or you're greasy and oily all the time, then that's an
Mhm.
imbalance. That's an imbalance at any stage of life.
So there's a difference between moist and greasy.
Yes.
Difference. I guess more so for someone who thinks that it's moisture, but it's not. I guess what's the difference in feeling, or I guess, when it comes to skin being moist or skin being greasy.
Yeah, I would, imagine you just took a brisk walk outside for about 10 minutes and you have just a little bit of sweat, a little bit to cool you off. That's what
Mm,
glowy, dewy skin looks like.
got it.
Not
That's the
oily,
difference.
greasy.
Greasy. Got it.
Think water wet, but not oil.
Water.
We want it to look like,
Hmm. Yes, got it. Next question is, what ingredients help maintain hydration and elasticity long term?
yes. So drinking water because we want internal water to show up on the skin, right? If you're drinking nothing but caffeine and drying and alcohol and you're drying yourself out, that's going to show up on the skin. And then anything including your vitamin B, particularly one with niacinamide in it. That's a long word,
Mm,
but vitamin B,
mhm.
A, C, E, or to put them alphabetically, A, B, C, and E. You want to make sure are included in your moisturizer. Also, didn't mention or haven't mentioned yet hyaluronic acid. You may have heard that word too. Hyaluronic acid, you may see over the counter, sometimes in like oil capsules or as an actual topical oil. That's also very healthy and hydrating without being greasy. So those are the big ones, I would say. And then again, collagen, 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 because that is going to replace or at least prevent some of that fatty content, that tissue content that shrinks away. It's going to kind of keep it there. That's how it helps with your joints. It helps to enhance that cartilage so that you don't lose it and then your bones are, on top of each other. Same
Makes
thing.
sense, y'all. How does sun exposure impact our skin as oops, sorry, have the chat box as we get older, especially regarding discoloration? Definitely talked about it because sunscreen, 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 sunscreen. I never wore sunscreen. My dark marks would always get darker, no matter what type of skincare products I use. Sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen.
Yep, the UV rays attack those melanin, those melanocytes, and that's what happens. And then as we get older, the thin is skinning. The thin is skinning. Lord Jesus, the skin is thinning. Let me drink. I need to drink some more water. The skin is
Okay.
thinning, and it's more prominent. You can see it more easily. Same with bruising, right? We can all think of, that the unfortunate, example of an elderly person who is bumped and bruised themselves and all that because they don't have the fat content on the skin and the skin is thin, or they get abrasions more easily because they don't have the fat content to help with their skin elasticity.
Mm, got it.
So UV
Next question
rays
is,
attacking.
while we're talking about sunscreen, what type of sunscreen works best for deeper skin tones without leaving
Yes.
a cap?
For anybody, I say above 30 SPF. Skip the 15s, go straight to the 30s and the 45s. So that's the heavier protection we need.
Got it. Skip the 15s, 30,
Skip the
45.
15.
I think I got a 45 up there, so I think I'm good. I think I got
Good.
that too. What vitamins or nutrients support long-term skin health, glow, and even tone? And I know you said that. Vitamin A. Hold on. You didn't say
Mhm.
B. A, C,
I did.
D,
I
and
did.
E. Yeah, you said B. Okay, it was D you didn't say, but you did say D. But you just take that internally. I was talking about topically.
You
Got
got
it.
it. You got
A,
it.
B, C, D,
He's
E.
listening. Yes, ma'am. So in order, A, B, C, D orally and E. We need all of those. We need all those to help with skin glow and even tone. So those are your vitamins. Nutrients. So again, think about it. Controlling what's happening with the skin has to do with your hormones, your pH. Again, just like your vaginal health, probiotics can be helpful because it's helping to
Mm,
balance your pH balance, right? Other things, and I wrote some things down to make sure I didn't forget. I mentioned the hyaluronic acid. That's also something
Mhm.
good. That's usually topical. There are some oral ones I've seen over the counter for hyaluronic acid, but that's also helpful. Zinc. Zinc is a good immune system builder, but it also can help promote hydration and glow. And then another one that Black Girl Vitamins has available, omega-3 fatty acids. Because again, the fat and the oil content. If you see a lot of the omega-3 supplements, you'll they have like fish oil in them, flaxseed
Mhm.
oil,
Yeah,
oil based. So you can use those as well to help promote internal and natural hydration.
got it. Okay. Didn't know that about omega-3.
Hmm.
Another question is, how can supplements help with things like hormonal shifts, texture, maintaining radiance over time?
Yeah, I think consistency is key. So hormonal shifts are going to happen no matter what. So as we get
Hmm.
older, as our lives change, as we go through phases, your hormones are going
Hmm.
to do like this, and then ultimately they'll go like that. You want to be consistent. You want to be consistent with your skincare and your health regimen so that when those hormonal shifts happen, you'll already have your base, and then you can just add to the problem areas. So go ahead and start your daily regimen with your multi once a day, your collagen, your vitamin D, drinking all your water, right? So that those are the supplements you're doing on a daily basis. But then when spot things start to happen or menopause is kicking in, then you'll want to add in some other things, whether it's adding in more let's think. So, or decreasing, but in terms of supplementation, in menopause, let's say, for instance, you want to add in things that are going to naturally increase your estrogen levels, like black cohosh, like wild yam extract, right? These are uh, natural occurring things that we can take either over the counter or we can eat in our diet, or we can take Minicho, by the way. Minicho Black Girl Vitamins has black cohosh in it. So those are supplements that you can add to your base as things start to change.
Got
Adding more
it. Add
vitamin D, right?
to your base, okay?
In the
To your
winter
base.
time, adding more vitamin D with the shorter days.
Okay. No, it's true. It's very true. All
Yeah.
right, y'all. We're gonna give y'all an opportunity to ask Dr. Swiner and to actually unmute yourself. So I did see a couple people asking about like supplements and vitamins and collagen powder. So I'm actually gonna give you the opportunity to ask those questions to Dr. Swiner in person if you would like. So you can actually unmute yourself and ask those questions. Or if it's questions that you just need some type of understanding on, you can definitely do that. So I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to unmute yourself. So would somebody like to unmute themselves as well to ask those questions? And I know y'all do. I know y'all do.
Okay, I'm
Y'all can
gonna be
definitely.
first. Rochelle from Texas. I have just started using the product, and I'm not getting the energy from the vitamin D, what have you. I'm guessing it takes time. I actually mark in my calendar. It'll be 30 days on the 14th. However, my hair thins on the side, and I ordered the hair and nails gummy, and I'm seeing results. I just ordered the collagen, and so my question is, because the collagen also has benefits for the hair, nails, and skin. If I just take the collagen and then take the one a day, is that good, or is the same results, or should I take the both? The gummies and the collagen.
Yes, so I was gonna say, and I'm glad you added that on. If you hadn't yet added on the collagen, I was gonna encourage that. So that's great. So I don't think it's overkill to take the both the hair, skin, and nails and the collagen. I think that would be great.
Okay.
And maybe at a certain point, once you've kind of gotten to an area, particularly with the hair loss, if you've gotten to an area or the hair thinning, once you've gotten to an area where you feel satisfied and you just want to maintain, maybe take one away. So
Okay.
I would take both until you're kind of at the point where you're like, okay, I'm happy with this, and maybe I can kind of take one away and stay on one to maintain is what I would do.
Okay. All
And you
right. Thank
always
you. Mhm.
keep your once you're welcome. Keep your once a day though, because that's helpful for your other benefits. Your immune defense, keep you from getting sick,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So keep
Okay.
that.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. This
You're
is really
welcome.
great. I'm loving it. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Mhm.
Next person, if anybody would like to ask a question next. Anybody like to unmute themselves? I know y'all got questions.
Don't
Been
be
asked any
afraid.
other questions? Don't be afraid.
I'm gonna look in the
Somebody
chat.
did ask, right? Somebody did ask, are there any vitamins they shouldn't take together?
No, let me think. Let me think.
I take everything. I took B12. I take collagen. I
Yeah.
take the one. I
Yeah.
took the. I take it all.
Me too. Yeah,
I
I take so I take my once a day, my vitamin D, my magnesium, and my collagen. So my collagen is usually in the morning. I take the gummies at night. And I can't think of any of the other ones that you wouldn't be able to all take at the same time. No.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah. So Monique, I know you had that question. Then take them all at the same time because I'd be taking them all. I know I do.
I see a really
Um,
good question about the gummies and sugar. I saw that pop up during our talk from Yolanda. Can I answer that?
oh yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So, I have definitely gotten over time, I've definitely gotten questions about that. You know, people that are either diabetic or watching their sugars, do the gummies have too much of a sugar intake? And I'll just use myself as an example. Now, I will say that thankfully my sugars have been normal, but between, a year ago when I started with Black Girl Vitamins and literally yesterday, because I'm gonna have my physical next week. So I got my pre-labs done. My sugars are unchanged. They might even be better than they were. And that just might be because of just other lifestyle changes and I've been exercising and doing all this stuff. And that definitely helps your sugar too. But by adding on 3 or 4 Black Girl vitamin gummies per day to my lifestyle, it hasn't affected my sugar. So hopefully that helps to answer your questions a little bit. Now, how many of the vitamins do we now have in the low sugar version? I know
Sugar
we
free.
used to have one, but then people weren't buying it.
So the ones that are sugar free, we definitely have our D3. That's the only gummy version. But outside of the gummy version, we have the capsules. All of the capsules are sugar free. So that's the sea moss capsules, the mental chill, in the mood, omega. All
Yes.
of those are sugar free because they are capsules as well too.
And I think
Mhm.
someone at some point told me that y'all used to have more available in the sugar-free gummies, but then people didn't like them. They didn't like the taste.
So it was the D3. We actually shifted the taste of this D3, you know?
Ah,
So
got
it was the D3, but we got a new one. Okay, y'all, we got a new one and it
to
tastes
try it
great.
again.
Exactly. And it says continuous take BGV. We definitely say 14 plus.
Yeah,
14
mine
plus.
do. I got 2 of them. Yep.
That's you. 14 plus. Well, that seems like all the questions being answered. Oh, snap. Moved along too quick. But use the code SKIN20% off. We do want to let you all have this code for use. We do appreciate y'all so much for being here. Dr. Swan, do you have anything that you would like to say to the
Yeah.
people?
I am so selfishly, I have a goal by the end of the year to get 4,000 followers on my Instagram. I'm rebuilding. I was hacked probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I'm rebuilding. I'm about 8 followers away from like 4,000. So I'm putting my Instagram in the chat because I would love all of you all to follow and I will follow back so that we can stay in touch and you can DM me, ask me questions about Black Girl Vitamins or health, wellness, stress stuff. Let's follow each other and be friends.
And
At
Dr.
real
Swan,
at real Doc Swiner.
not the this is the real one, okay, y'all?
Right, not the hacked one. I'm real Doc Swiner. Yeah. I need 8 more. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, come on, we're gonna get there.
Let's
We're gonna
go.
get there. Well, thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate y'all for taking the time to be here with us because this is a Tuesday evening. You didn't have to, you really could have done something else, but you decided to be here with us, which we truly appreciate it. So we hope to see you at our holiday parties that are coming up. It's in 3 cities for now, but next year it might be in more cities. Right now it's in Chicago, Atlanta, in the DMV area, but you just never know. Okay. And the recording will be on YouTube. We'll make sure we get all the recordings. We had a conversation with Dr. Swine earlier. So we're gonna make sure we get all the recordings on YouTube for
Yeah.
y'all.
The
Okay.
at is
Thank
Ask Dr. BGV. That's the YouTube channel.
That's the YouTube channel. So we
Yeah.
appreciate y'all. Thank you again, Dr. Swiner. You didn't have to do this, but you're doing this with us. We appreciate you for just helping us and being our medical advisor. In the mood of Thanksgiving, thank y'all so much. And we will chat with you all later.
See y'all.
Bye.
Follow me on IG. Bye.
Yes, follow on IG, Real Doc Swiner. Real. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.